All right, and we're back getting set up for the second series of the day between Magnitude Aftershock and Bunker Funtime. Should be a pretty entertaining series as well. Now, if we do take a look at the standings, there is a little bit of a gap between them. Bunker Funtime currently sitting at 4th place with 15 points, and Magnitude Aftershock in 6th place with 6 points. Now, it is pretty competitive over the top of the Division B West, but Magnitude Aftershock definitely starting to trail a bit behind as we do get started in the second half of this season. Now, it's definitely still possible they're able to win. I mean, definitely not going to take anything away from any of these players, but they'll definitely need to play decently well to try and come back. Now, the map pick and bans have already been finished, and the map pick was selected by Magnitude Aftershock. They banned away Sky Temple and Dragonshire, while Bunker Funtime banned away Cursed Hollow and Volskaya Foundry. And game number 1 will be on the Infernal Shrines. Now, Infernal Shrines, like I always say, pretty fun map, and we've seen quite a bit of interesting drafts here. I mean, I always start thinking about the Hogger, the Tychus, when it comes to those map specialists. Now, doesn't necessarily mean you have to grab them, but it does mean that they're definitely going to be pretty strong. They're definitely going to be pretty good there. And really, any kind of AoE clear over the wall, Chromie once again comes into mind. There's a lot of different options for this map. So that being said, welcome back everyone for the second series of the day. I'm wondering how many of you have stuck around from our first match of the day, but this is a double cast today, and all 10 members are already in the lobby, so we should be getting started soon, hopefully. One of the players, I believe, was finishing up a Tarkov raid, so I'm not sure if they're in the lobby before they're done or if it's after, but either way, it might still be a little bit before we get started. But yeah, regardless, this is going to be a game that I think Magnitude Aftershock, they at least need to take a map in order to try and regain at least a little bit of the momentum for their season. I mean, even 1 point will bring them up from 6 to 7. It does make a difference, and it will help them break away further from the team below them. And I think right now that is kind of a concern. It is 1 point only at the bottom of the table, but it's still only a 5-point difference. That's 1 domination or 2 wins, and they will surpass Magnitude Aftershock, assuming they don't get anything else. So I think that's what I'd like to see from them today, at least 1 map win. And then Bunker Funtime, they've been doing a great job too, but this map also matters to them for a slightly different reason. They are currently at 15 points, and if they're able to win this series, they will solidify themselves in 2nd place. Now, Roll 1 Esports also only played 6 games, so they will have a chance to kind of catch up. So if Bunker Funtime are able to get that domination and prevent Magnitude Aftershock from taking a game, they'll be in a much better spot. It basically forces Roll 1 Esports to not have to drop a single game if they want to retake that 2nd place. I'm not sure who has the head-to-head. So I'm not really sure how that tiebreaker would go. But if they do want to have the exact same 2nd thing, it's if they don't want to have the same points, they will definitely want to get at least the domination here. So yeah, both sides of Magnitude Aftershock definitely will want at least 1 map, and Bunker Funtime, they don't want to give up a single map. And I think that's what's really going to add that extra little bit of tension in these games. Hopefully it'll translate to the way they play, but hopefully both teams will still try and play aggressively in this. Now, we are still waiting for the game to start. Again, everyone's already been in lobby, so we're at that really fun point, especially as a caster. Now, I know a lot of you are players, so you kind of maybe haven't seen this perspective. But as a caster, when I'm just sitting here, I have no idea when both teams are going to do the ready check. I'm not in any of these calls. So it's kind of like when the teams do decide to be like, okay, it's time to go. I just got to react to it. And honestly, that's fine. I don't mind it at all. And in fact, we did just start the ready check. The first team is ready, so we just need one more team to ready up as well. I should let them know I'm ready. Let them know the caster is ready to go as well. I always let them know at the start in case I'm kind of distracted doing my introduction stuff. But yeah, I guess while I am waiting for the final ready check, I will say once again, I already put out my new sub badges. Hopefully they are to your liking. If you have any feedback, please let me know. I could always have them mess around with a little bit, get a little bit of a different design or fix them up, but I think they're pretty decent. So, but if you have any other opinions, please let me know. And then on the other side of it is I am planning on creating some new emotes, but I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of ideas for the kind of emotes I would like to add. I think I have like 2 or 3 ideas that I want to add, because it's weird that I don't have a Tokibi hype emote. That one's super weird. And then obviously we need an Artanis hype for Hoku, because I mean, everyone always talk, whenever Artanis is picked, everyone talks Hoku. May as well make it an emote. I've already asked Hoku. She said she's good, so that'll be added. But if you have any other ideas, anything else you'd like to see, let me know in the chat. Let me know on Discord if you don't want to say it publicly. But it does seem like both teams are ready. So instead of focusing on that, let's focus on Division B West, Magnitude Aftershock versus Bunker Funtime.
Infernal Shrines.
But we are in the first map of the day. Let's get those predictions in. And it is going to be the Infernal Shrines, so some AoEs definitely needed. We definitely would need something like Leoric is really strong in the off lane. Dahaka obviously is always good in the off lane. Blaze or Hogger especially. This is Hogger's best map, I would argue. So if either of these two teams do play Hogger, it could be either a really strong ban for the enemy or a really good lock in for themselves. Obviously, it's still really strong. Definitely not too far off the top tier meta for the offlaners. But they can also bring that damage from other positions. But instead, it is going to be the Maiev ban coming out from Bunker Funtime. Not as good at clearing the skeletons, but is really good at playmaking. Not surprised to see that banned away. If there's someone that can play the Maiev, it's not something you want to go against at all. Super difficult to play into and kind of annoying too. Really changes the way the game is played. But as for other targets, I mean, I think Sylvanas is actually pretty decent on this map too. I see it pretty often, not 100% of the time, but is able to bring in a lot of value. Same with the Joanna, though was just banned by Magnitude Aftershock. With the Condemn, the Shield Glare, all of that. I mean, every single ability that Joanna has is AoE. And it's really good at clearing out the skeletons. And most importantly, it's good at getting that zone control on the shrines. Once the Joanna is able to get on top of it, it's so difficult to push her out. Just so tanky with the proper healer behind as well. Just a ton of effort for not a ton of return to try to get that Joanna away. But now it is going to be another tank banned by Bunker Funtime. They're going to remove the Garrosh. And it does seem like they're kind of focused on removing the aggressive playmakers from Magnitude Aftershock. Now, obviously, Maiev's melee assassin, Garrosh tank, but they're both kind of those playmaking heroes. Where if you position correctly on them, you could kind of win a fight just off of that initial engage. And Magnitude Aftershock going to ban away the Dahaka. Now, not super surprised to see that getting removed. Like I said, really good at clearing the skeletons, really good in the off lane, able to do cross-map plays. If you want something, you will find it, and you will find it in Dahaka.
Victory for the Forsaken.
I know, I was bringing up Sylvanas, and that actually will be the first pick coming in for Plant Facts for Bunker Funtime. As the response from Magnitude Aftershock is going to be the Stukov and Chromie, B-Man and Punk locking those in. Now, Chromie, like we talked about before, really good on this map, and just really good hero overall. And Grizzly64, thank you for the 69 bits. Should be a solid cast, and I appreciate the cheer. And And now Zedem going to lock in the Diablo. I've never seen that Diablo skin before, and that's actually sick. I love that skin so much. I'll be honest, I'm one of those people that doesn't really pay too much attention when I'm in game, but when I see that pop up in front of me during a cast, like, okay, yeah, I should focus. But Dicello is going to lock in the Anduin as well. So not only do they have that extra aggressive play, with a Leap of Faith, they're going to have a little bit of that defensive saving opportunities coming by. And especially against Chromie, it kind of disincentivizes the temporal loop. It's super good at pulling back anyone who's kind of caught into it. It works as both a cleanse and a repositioning tool. So if you're able to time it right, gets a ton of value in that temporal loop. But now Hogger is going to get banned away by Magnitude Aftershock, which does make me a bit sad. I mean, it's a good ban for sure, but I love seeing Hogger. I don't know why. I think it's my favorite offlaner to watch. Just so much interesting jumping around. And the Varian going to get banned away by Bunker Funtime. Now, I think that ban was less because of the map and more because they already have a Stukov on their team. And Varian Stukov is just a very easy combo to run, but it is a very effective combo to run. So getting rid of that option for Magnitude Aftershock definitely going to be good. As Tychus locked in for Amy 820 and ETC locked in for Wraithling. Now, I really like this Tychus pick especially. I do think Infernal Shrines is one of Tychus' best maps. The grenade toss is really good. And the overkill just absolutely shreds on these objectives. It's really hard to play someone who's kind of single target. And I think because of that, Chromie will struggle in the early team fights. Especially around those shrines. It's really hard to angle the Sandblast. So having a Dragon's Breath build or waiting to level 18 for that Piercing Sands talent, kind of a necessity. But speaking of fun mages, Mephisto locked in for Raven X. Really good on this play and is going to be doing a ton of damage to the backline, to the front line, to everyone involved. And can clear away the skeletons quite good. And really, really peaks out level 16. As Leoric also gets locked in for Alumini Bree in the offlane. And that Leoric will be facing off against the Ragnaros. Okay. Another interesting pick for Captain Roberts. Now, I have seen Ragnaros picks recently. And one thing I've noticed is Ragnaros has a ton of burst damage. If that Ragnaros is able to get onto someone like the Anduin or the Mephisto or the Sylvanas, can actually deal ridiculous amounts of quick damage and could definitely threaten to get that early kill. Well, that being said, our draft is done. We're all ready. Let's head over to game number 1. All right, we are here. Still loading into this game number 1 on Infernal Shrines between Magnitude Aftershock and Bunker Funtime. Now, I'm looking at these two drafts, and I'm not even sure who to give it to. I do think that once level 16 comes through, Mephisto is going to be incredibly powerful. Sylvanas scales really well into the mid to late game and has so many different repositioning tools and should be able to kind of just jump B-Man. Will be definitely hard on the Stukov. It'll also be hard on the Chromie. Jumping onto Punk. It'll definitely add so many different angles that this Sylvanas can play around. And then obviously in the team fights is going to be really good as well. Now I was talking about the Dragon's Breath and it does look like it will be Deep Breathing level 1. So it will be the Dragon's Breath build coming out for the Chromie. And I think that is the correct option for this map. The team fights get way too difficult if you try to do the Sandblast. But now both teams are going to be grouping over to this mid lane. Time Trap gonna be stuck in immediately as they're all just kind of harping on each other. And I see a little bit of banter, but Raven X doesn't have time for it. Just gonna go in. But it is the Lightning Nova talent. It's not going to be the Skull Missile talent like we see. Now that actually does change things a bit because it means that Raven X isn't going to scale quite as hard into the late game, but also will still be strong as they are onto the target, and they're going to be able to take down Raven X base, or sorry, not Raven X. Oh, who's the Diablo player? Wow, my bad. But they're able to take down the Diablo like immediately. And that's a massive kill to get. And now Dicello also in a bad spot. Gonna get stunned up and will get finished off. The last grenade coming in from Amy 820. Zednam, that's right. That's what I was thinking of. And that's going to be a pretty massive start for Magnitude Aftershock. 2 kills right off the bat. They have the bot lane pushed in. And they're going to be able to take this camp. I mean, without the Anduin there, with them all tanking on the camp, it's going to be difficult for them to try and contest it. So it will be the first camp and the first 2 bloods going over to Magnitude Aftershock. And because they already got that, they could try and threaten a little bit more. Now, they don't have the talent advantage quite yet, but they do have the experience advantage. But look at how fast they're able to clear away onto that siege camp. It is still going to give the extra experience going the way of Magnitude Aftershock, so it's still definitely worth taking it. As Lurking Arm just going to try getting in their way. As Zednam will take a decent chunk of damage coming out from Punk. And now Zednam already down to half HP. Dicello trying to keep them healthy. And Raven X is the one to come through, just getting a little bit of poke damage. But again, because of this talent choice with the Lightning Nova, will be more powerful during those team fights, during those long engages, but will definitely fall off compared to the late game Mephisto build with the Skull Missile. So I would like to see them play a bit more aggressively early. And now level 4 is there by both teams as they do jump on to Zednam once again, using the Shadow Charge to try and build some space. And we'll be able to back away for now. Overkill. Amy trying to finish it up, but won't be there in range. Alumini Bree and Plantfax just body blocking for their tank. But that's still a victory for Magnitude Aftershock. They're basically preventing Bunker Funtime from taking their own camps. They're trying to start, and they're going to start once again. They have the Lurking Arm for the vision. Wraithling looking onto 4 targets, just using the face mount. But Alumini Breeze here, so it is a 4-on-5. But Alumini Breeze kind of the one taking damage as the Dragon's Breath just poking on his Zedna once again. And Dicello's trying to keep everyone healthy, but it's costing quite a bit of mana. As Wraithling looking at Alumini Bree. Not able to find the angle quite yet. As now, it is going to be the side of Magnitude Aftershock. They're just going to get right onto the siege camp, and they should be able to steal it away. Now, I really like this aggressive strategy coming in from them. They're not even bothering with their own camps because they know that if they can test Bunker Funtimes, not only will they eventually be able to steal it, but that's going to be a camp that Bunker Funtime isn't able to take as well. And when you're in the lead, trying to slow down the pace of the enemy team is so important. But now it is 4-on-4 in this top side. Punk is on the way. Alumini Bree should also be on the way soon. Raven X gonna try getting a little bit of those extra pickoffs. And right now, the missiles are in favor of Bunker Funtime, but now the fight is breaking through. Wraithing is on the backline. Zednam starting to get pretty low. The overkill will get the final shot. Plantfact also low. Will jump with the Haunting Wave. Alumini Bree stuck in the middle of everyone with the Wraithwalk, able to build enough space. Raven X just trying to poke a little bit with the Lightning Nova. As Amy and Punk both get low, but Amy still has the tap from the well. Will be healthy. Will have the extra healing coming in from B-Man. But the Chastise is going to land on a Wraithling and Amy, trying to buy a little bit of space. But it is still the level 7 talent advantage right now for Magnitude Aftershock. It is 5-on-5 as Zednam is able to get back into the play. 17-11 in terms of skeletons. As Raven X, they're looking towards that Mephisto, and with the Lurking Arm, with the extra auto, they are going to be able to get that kill. And the Meteor just dealing even more damage on Alumini Bree and Zednam. And without the Mephisto, they definitely lose a lot of their damage. They lose all of their poke pretty much. And when you're against a Chromie, Punk just dealing so much damage, just zoning everyone away. And Amy's just kind of able to slowly but surely finish off these skeletons. And Bunker Funtime, they head for the hills, and they head to shoving in really every other lane. Because if they know they're not going to win on the top side, they know they're not going to be able to get the Punisher, they can at least try to steal back a camp, try and get a bit of extra soak from the bot lane. And actually, Alumini Bree should be able to get a decent push here with this massive wave. But as that's happening, the Punisher has been finished off. And Magnitude Aftershock, they're ready for their push. It is the Mortar Punisher, so going to be really good at taking down those structures. Already finished off most of the wall, but now they have Temporal Loop on a Raven X. And Raven X immediately going to go down. And that's kind of the strength of the Temporal Loop going into the Mephisto. Now, it does change things later on, because once they get into those later team fights, it will be more difficult to get that combo to work, because they do have the Leap of Faith coming out of Cello, as the trait is used by Captain Roberts in the bot lane just to help defend this fort, and will be able to defend it successfully. Now the siege camp has been taken over the bot side, but the bruiser camp, the more important pushing one, is going to get stolen by Magnitude Aftershock. Now the Punisher will finally get finished off, but first Punisher at 5.5 minutes, taking down a wall, a fort, and half of the second wall. That is good value. That is what you'd want to see at your grocery store. That's how good that value is. But now B-Man and Amy, they're once again just coming back in and just stealing away this siege camp. They have their level 10s and the lava wave coming out of mid lane as well, just to help with this push, as it seems they really want to try taking down this mid lane fort as well. Level 10 is about to get reached by Bunker Funtime, so they will have that extra talent. They will have that heroic coming out soon. But the mid lane wall already gone, and now they're trying to play for this mid lane fort. Now, if they're able to get this one as well, that's going to give them another lane of pressure. But Alumini Bree, looking at the backline, has the Entomb onto Amy, onto B-Man, the Apocalypse, the Durance, just everything onto Amy and B-Man, but they're not able to get the kill. Not right away. Alumini Bree with the final shot will be able to finish it off, but Cello throws out the lightning bomb, but won't be able to get it in time. It is going to be the 1-for-1, though. Durance actually only now coming out, but will not land. So it will be the 1-for-1 trade, but when you're the team that's behind, a 1-for-1 is good. You're accelerating the game. You're putting both teams closer to that level 20. As now Wraithling is going to go in. They're able to drop back onto Zednam and onto Ravenex. And Punk with the Dragon's Breath. Zednam will walk away the correct direction and will be able to survive. But with that, it is just that 1-for-1, and it is Bunker Funtime's first kill as well. As Magnitude Aftershock, they're going to start looking at least a little bit towards the bot lane, but it looks like that's just to shove the waves in. Their real focus is towards this bruiser camp. Now, they don't have their level 13 talents yet. That will be coming out shortly, but they do have a full level lead. And I believe they're going to have their level 13 talents as this next shrine will spawn. It will be the Arcane Shrine over at this bot side. And I think that's really good with the way Magnitude Aftershock has been playing the map right now. Their easiest structure to take down is in this bot lane, if they're able to get the Punisher, I mean. So if they take out this mid lane, they already have a passive push in the top lane, they already have a passive push in the mid lane, then this Punisher can get more value in the bot lane when they push in with it. And they will be able to just take down this mid lane fort, because Alumini Bree was forced to run top dealing with that bruiser camp. Now Lava Wave 2 shove out the bot side. Siege camps up as well. And Magnitude Aftershock, they're playing slow, but they're playing methodically and cleanly. And now with this next shrine active, they have their level 13 talent advantage. This could be a time to start a fight, or it could be time for them to just slowly but surely collect all of these skeletons. Now Captain Roberts is going to start this. All 5 members are here for Magnitude Aftershock. Next Lava Wave not going to be there for a minute and a half. So they were able to get the bot lane pushed in to start, but might be a bit more difficult if they want to keep it going. Now Wraithling is going to get the mosh pit, but they have the temporal loop on his Zednam, or sorry, on a Cello actually, but Zednam is in a bad spot. Punk starting to get damaged as well. Raven X dealing so much with the Skullmist with Lightning Nova. Now B-Man could be stuck. Haunting Wave coming through as well with the Wailing Arrow, and now Alumini Bree trying to walk forward. Zednam with the Light Bomb in the middle of everyone. But luckily, Wraithling with the power slide going to be able to prevent any further follow-up. Zednam will be the first to go, as now the rest of Bunker Funtime is starting to run away. Cello kind of in a really bad spot, should go down here. And with the extra meteorite coming in from Captain Roberts, it will be a 2-for-0 in favor of Magnitude Aftershock. Now they did have the souls for Zednam, so this Diablo will be back in. But now they're just pushing into the bot lane. They're already at 31 skeletons. They don't feel the need to rush it. They'll take down the wall, and they're going to start working on this fort. And they should be able to clear it away, especially with the Dragon's Breath build. Punk is able to absolutely shred through this. And with the entire team able to just freely auto onto it, this will be a free Punisher for them with that fort as well. And that's really just coming through from their teamfight prowess. And now the Arcane Punisher will be spawning in. 10 minutes left, as the siege camp also gets started by Magnitude Aftershock. In fact, they're starting onto both of these siege camps. Punisher slowly making its way to this bot lane. There is a lava wave clearing away the bruiser camp in the top side. Won't be able to clear all of it. We'll be able to get at least a bit of value. But now both camps have been finished. They're there with the Punisher at the same time as it arrives. As Zednam gets jumped on, as the Duran's just going to go wide between the two players. But Alamini Bree looking forward is going to get the Entomb onto B-Man. But they have the Raven X pulled back in the temporal loop. But the Apocalypse will stun on it too and will actually save Alamini Bree for now. But the Arcane Punisher is still pushing during all of this. And that's going to be a lot of cooldowns utilized by Bunker Funtime. And since they weren't able to get any kills, now they have nothing for this defense. They have the Odin popped. They're going onto this bot lane keep already. And they're just playing super far and aggressive. They know how to get in a position where they have the advantage. And then if Bunker Funtime try to force a fight, they just cleanly peel back and go back in when they know they have the advantage in the abilities. Now Odin will expire. I don't know if they're going to be able to end this game, but they're going to try. They have the level 16, level 14. Alamini Bree not going to be hit by the power slide, but they do have the Entomb auto Wraithling, and they have the Durance. They have so many abilities, and they will be able to take down the ETC, but they did trade it over for the offlaner. But now Mephisto also going to go down. It is a 2-for-1 in favor of Magnitude Aftershock. And now the course finally starting to take some damage. The shield has broken, but no permanent damage will go. Just no shield left at all. 100% HP. It's still a 2-for-1 for Magnitude Aftershock, but without the ETC, it does become a lot harder to play. And now they will be able to just reset, collect their waves. And, I mean, they have their Siege Camp. They have their Bruiser Camp available. They have a lot they can get on the map before they need to try and play aggressively once again. Now, there will be a little bit of time where Bunker Funtime will actually be tied with them on talents. It is level 17 to level 16 right now. And Magnitude Aftershock have a level and a half lead. And I think with these camps, it'll only grow, because they should be able to time their next push to steal away even more of those camps. However, until level 20, they're not going to have any major advantage. And I say that because there will be the Piercing Sands there for Punk. As now the Temporal Loop does land. The Durance isn't going to, but with the Lurking Arm, they will be able to save. Wraithling dancing in the background, but gets hit by the Apocalypse. And now they're able to trade a 1-for-1 Silver, but that's the healer gone. Dicello is getting jumped on, though, but they're able to take down Punk. Alamini Bree still slowing things in the fight. Raven X looking for Captain Roberts. They have the Skullman, so they have the Haunting Wave, and Raven X jumps in. Zednam will get traded back, but that's still a 3-for-2. Now Plant Fax, is slow, but will be able to back away. But they do need to deal with these waves. Now, that was a good fight for Bunker Funtime. They're finally able to get an advantage. It was that 3-for-2. And during this time, they're going to be able to just safely push out these lanes. They did lose their top lane wall. Their mid lane wall is in a pretty good spot, as Raven X will watch Amy and Wraithling steal away that siege camp once again. So Magnitude Aftershock, they'll still be able to take these camps safely for themselves. They'll still be able to get that advantage. But again, Bunker Funtime, they were able to accelerate the game just that little bit more. And since they're the ones that are pretty behind, accelerating the game is good. Because once they hit level 20, it doesn't matter how behind you were in terms of levels the rest of the game, as long as you're tied now. Now the wave is going to get cleared away, and Bunker Funtime, they're going to get started on these skeletons early, but it doesn't look like Magnitude Aftershock care. They look like they just want to push through this mid lane. They have a pretty big wave in the bot lane. They could definitely threaten to end here. And I think that Bunker Funtime, they need to react. Zednam is trying to reset here as well. Alamini Bree still going to hold on, try and take this Punisher. But now the mid lane is pushed in. The bot lane, massive wave as well. And this is where the fight is really going to come in. Durance is going to land onto Wraithling, and they have the Apocalypse as well. They have so many stuns, and they are going to be able to take down this poor cow. And it will be the 1-for-0. They will be able to defend here. Lava Wave will come through, but again, without the tank, without the extra engage, they can't get the zone control they need. The Temporal Loop, however, will land on Zednam. They have the extra poke damage, but again, without the extra lockdown, it's just too hard to make it work. Now, there is a pretty big wave pushing into the bot side, but in the top lane, the Punisher has spawned. The Frozen Punisher is slowly but surely just clearing out this top lane wall, and will have this 4-2 hit next. But because it is a Punisher, it does focus more on the heroes, so they're able to just kind of pull it away, and Bunker Funtime aren't here to push with it. But that's still going to be a Punisher not used by Magnitude Aftershock. That'll still be a wall more or less finished off by Bunker Funtime. But now they have a really good angle. Could find Amy as Amy gets caught. Durance of Hate's not going to land, but everything else will. And Amy will go down. Now the temporal loop, but it is on Zenim. It is on the tank. Punk will get hit by the third auto. And Raven X almost going down. 50 HP left. But unfortunately, the little meteor, what is this meteor called? Not blast wave, living meteor. Yeah, close enough. Gonna be almost be able to get the kill, but not quite. As level 20s are finally up for Bunker Funtime. They have their storm talents. They have their blinks, Bolt of the Storm, and Hellgate, same icon though. But I mean, Blizzard knows, we just need to know what that ability does, and that is definitely the blink icon. And now Bunker Funtime, they're the ones playing aggressively. This is the first time they've been on the opposite side of the map as Raven X just trying to poke out the backline. Dicello looking for the chastise, but Punk will be able to dodge it out. Haunting Wave used just for the extra DPS. And that should be the first camp stolen. Lurking Arm is there, save with the swipe. Zednem is going to be in the temporal loop. We'll be able to steal away that siege camp as they're just kind of dumping abilities onto this poor Diablo. But it is a later game Diablo with an Anduin behind. Will be saved. Black Arrow is going to get used on this bot lane fort. And if they're able to finish this off, they'll finally get something in their favor. But nope, the trade from Captain Roberts is there as they do look to fight now. Magnitude Aftershock, they are walking forward, but without Captain Roberts being able to be part of the fight, it is a little bit dangerous. But they will use this pressure to steal away the siege camp over on this bot lane. But once again, it's the first time ever Bunker Funtime able to get 2 out of the 3 siege camps. And that'll help with their push in the mid lane. But now they have the mosh pit. They have the Encore coming in from Wraithing. But in the meanwhile, they're able to take down Amy. And now Wraithing is alone in the middle of the team. The teleport is going to land. Light Bomb to follow as Wraithing just perma-stunned. Hasn't been able to move in 6 years. And now B-Man is stuck over in the backline as well. Will get hit by the Apocalypse. Raven X almost goes down. But that's a 3-4-0 in favor of Bunker Funtime. And Magnitude Aftershock, this is bad for them now. They were doing so well in the other fights, but once it gets to the late game, they do have the push in mid, they do have the push in top. Both keeps are under fire right now for Bunker Funtime. And that's their early game coming in as they're able to snipe out Alumini Bree. And with that, they're able to get that successful defense. So overall, in terms of building damage, Magnitude Aftershock actually comes out on top. Now PlantFax is going to reset, going to try and deal with this mid and top lane push that is still coming through. Lava Wave will be able to clear out a little bit. Now the minions aren't going to be able to do too much to the PlantFax. Will be able to just clear it out on their own. But now the Shrine is active and Bunker Funtime, they're the first there. And they're going to be able to get started on it even before the next set. Or before all the heroes have respawned on Magnitude Aftershock. Now, I don't know if Magnitude want to fight this. They could try to walk in, try and buy a little bit of time, but it would be difficult for them. Already at 25 skeletons. And the tour bus, that's what that talent's called. I always try to remember it, and I always forget it right when the team fight starts. But they are going to be walking forward, and they are going to be contesting it because they know they have the wave advantage. Wraithling is going to be on the backline. Now the tour bus able to land onto Raven X and onto so many members in the backline. But they have no follow-up. The Durance able to provide so much space. Teleport is coming in, but the swipes from B-Man going to help buy enough time. And now it is 14 to 37 in terms of skeletons. Bunker Funtime should be able to take this. Temporal Loop is going to be there onto Amy. And Amy's starting to get low, and PlantFax jumping over top with the Haunting Wave. Just needs a few more autos and will be able to get it. The Arcane Punisher is pushing out in this bot lane, but so many waves pushing out for Magnitude Aftershock. This is going to be a minion base race. Can they get this game done with this Arcane Punisher? The Living Meteor will be able to get a decent bit of damage. Wraithing is going to tank onto this Arcane Punisher, and they're just trying to DPS onto it. But the core right now is under attack, and this is just going to be going both ways. Durance going to go wide, so they're not able to start the fight, but they will be able to buy a little bit of time. They have the, I forget his name. They have the Ragnaros coming in with the trade. Will buy a little bit of time, will buy a little bit of space, and they're able to take down Alumini Bree. So now it's 4-on-4. The Punisher is still pushing in. Raven X starting to get low. Temporal Loop as well to pull back Raven X, and that will be a kill for Magnitude Aftershock. And now Wraithling will have the dance, will have the tour bus coming in. And this looks like a really good team fight and a really good win potentially coming out of Magnitude Aftershock. They're able to take down Zendam. Does have enough souls to come back. Now the core is at 80%. All 3 keeps are gone. And all they were able to trade is this bot lane keep. Magnitude Aftershock kind of playing to let Bunker Funtime lose into them. And just slowly but surely making the fights last as long as possible. Now they do have 5 members. Raven X still going to be down for 25 more seconds. And they have the Lava Wave pushing them through the mid lane. It looks like they want to force a fight. It looks like they want to keep the game going. Wraithling could be looking for the backline. Does not have the mosh pit coming out anytime soon. 65-second cooldown. But they do have the big red button coming out of Amy. And that's so much damage. Now they do have the power slide as well. Alumini Bree and Zendam looking for the aggressive play, but the temporal loop will prevent it for now. They have the Wailing Arrow, and they will be able to take down the healer. But so much damage onto the core. Are they going to be able to kill them in time? And no! Magnitude Aftershock, they win the game. They're able to take down Bunker Funtime in game number 1. And that was a pretty back and forth game, if I do say so myself. I mean, absolutely fantastic victory coming out from Magnitude Aftershock. They got the first 2 kills, they stole away the first 2 camps, and they just played cleanly and methodically. They knew what they needed to do to keep pressing their lead, and they also knew when to back down in order to not throw away their lead. Now, Bunker Funtime came really close to clawing this game back, but in the end, Magnitude Aftershock's ability to just let them play into them bought so much time, and with the Lava Wave, with all the different camps, with the forward advantage they had, they were able to let the minions do what they do best, and they were able to win game number 1. And also, just a quick look at the DPS chart. Punk did more damage than the 2nd and 3rd place combined, and is only slightly below 2nd through 4th. So that's a pretty... I'm not even sure how to describe it. That's a lot of damage from Chromie. I think that's what we're going to go with. Nothing fancy there, just it's a lot of damage. Now we're going to go to a short break, but when we come back, we'll have game number 2, so don't go anywhere, and we'll be back soon. All right, and we are back for game number 2 between Magnitude Aftershock and Bunker Funtime. We are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for our second map. Now, this is going to be a pretty different map compared to that Infernal Shrines. It is going to be more about that control of the middle, I guess, of the map, kind of the vertical middle point of the map. You don't need to push back into the other team's end at any point and still be able to win, especially with those web weavers coming through. Now, because it's also a smaller map, something like the Dahaka not going to be quite as effective. It's still going to be very powerful, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's any situation in which Dahaka is weak, but may have other options that could be considered more powerful. Now, first ban going to be coming out of Magnitude Aftershock here, and it will be the Joanna. Kind of the same issues, to be honest. The Joanna is going to be able to just control any zone around any of those nests, turn in the spiders, or to turn in the gems, I should say. And at the same time, is also really good at interrupting when people are doing the turn in. Just that shield glare, especially if you get that double shield glare at level 1, which most Joannas do. You can just constantly keep interrupting it and prevent any gems from getting turned in, even from a pretty safe distance. But now what is interesting is Lucio's going to be banned by Bunker Funtime. Now, that's not a hero we saw picked or banned in Game 1. So I'm wondering why they decided to ban away the Lucio this time around. It is a super good healer and lots of potential cleanses coming out. I'm wondering if it's that. The high 5, if you play correctly, you can cleanse up to 2 members at the same time. And then Magnitude Aftershock. I'm wondering what they're going to reply now for these bans. The Dahaka. So they will still ban away the Dahaka. Like I said, definitely still good. So not surprised to see that removed. I'll be honest, I'm still kind of thinking about this Lucio ban. I think it's really interesting. And I'm wondering why exactly they felt the need to get rid of it, what they're worried about coming out of Magnitude Aftershock. The speed boost does provide quite a bit. The sound wave can also definitely help get a little bit of pickoff, split people up from their peel, split up fights. Other than that, I'm still not entirely sure, but it will leave the Maiev open, so Amy going to lock that in immediately. However, Chromie will be the final ban for Bunker Funtime. And it's going to be the Stukov variant immediately locked in for Zenom and Dicello. Now, I'm wondering if this was meant to be their counter to the Maiev. And it was less about the Lucio being picked so much as it was them baiting Amy to lock in the Maiev. If that was the strat, that'd actually be pretty cool. But then Anduin is locked in for B-Man and is definitely the healer you want when you're facing off against a Stukov variant combo. Leap of Faith going to be really good at defending or at saving anyone who does get caught by the combo, as Wraithling once again going to lock in the ETC. Did play the Turbas over in that previous game, and I'm wondering if that's what they're going to be doing again this time around. It definitely provides a lot of extra playmaking potential on this cow. Now, next set of bans coming in. I mean, Bunker Funtime only picked 2 heroes, but their team comp already is kind of being shown. They want to burst people out. And Varian Stukov definitely the best 2 heroes in the game to do that. But now they're going to ban away Captain Robert's Ragnaros. It definitely saved so much time for Magnitude Aftershock last time. There's so many moments where Bunker Funtime should have been able to take the fort, and against any other hero they would have been able to. But because of the trait, because of the Lava Wave, Captain Roberts was able to buy so much time that it just wasn't worth going for the fort anymore. They would lose way too much in reverse. As Sylvanas is going to be the final ban coming out of Magnitude Aftershock, trying to keep that off of Plantfax this time around. And Plantfax was able to deal quite a bit of damage on the Sylvanas, was able to jump to the backline pretty effectively. Unfortunately, because they were super behind just from the early game, didn't get to use the black arrows to its full effectiveness. But I don't think that's a player thing. I think that's just they were losing a bit too hard early to mid-game. That's all it really was. But Vala and Deathwing going to get locked in for Ravenex and Alumini Bree. Deathwing can actually deal a ton of burst damage. That Molten Flame deals a ridiculous amount of DPS. So if you're able to catch someone within that taunt coming in from Varian and the lurking arm, Aluminum Brie should have more than enough damage to finish it off. But now last two picks coming in for a Magnitude Aftershock. And it is going to be the Li Ming and the Leoric. Okay, so the Li Ming will definitely provide quite a bit of burst damage onto the backline. Deathwing is a pretty big target to hit as well. So should be able to get some pretty easy resets off on the Arcane Orb. And just overall a lot of damage to the front line. And Leoric, solid offlaner once again. Good at team fighting. There's not much to say about Leoric just because it's just one of those heroes. It's just a good hero. As Junkrat is going to get locked in for Raven X, as Plantfax is actually going to be piloting the Vala. Now, the Junkrat's definitely going to provide quite a bit more control. And with the traps, you do have to play a bit safer on the Li Ming in case you do step on one. But should be a pretty interesting game. They have the Maiev. They have the Varian Stukov combo. Which of these two rosters is going to be able to win this game number 2? All right, and we are back at Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 2 between Magnitude Aftershock and Bunker Funtime. Magnitude Aftershock, I mean, considering their place in the standings, them winning game 1 could be seen as a little bit of an upset, but they looked so clean during it that I wouldn't be surprised if they are able to even win this series, just come out on top over Bunker Funtime. But at the same time, Bunker Funtime, they're near the top of the standings for a reason. And I'm sure they're not going to go down quietly. They're going to keep playing. They're going to keep trying to win. And depending on how aggressively they go on this Varian Stukov combo, they definitely could bring this out. But now both teams are starting to group near the mid lane. I'm still waiting to see the talent. And it is going to be Puncturing Arrow. It is going to be that burst of Vala. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you're already playing that Varian Stukov combo. So not surprised to see that get selected. But as we start grouping, I thought every member would start going mid lane. But Raven X immediately went top and Aluminum Brie immediately went to the bot lane. And I'm wondering if that's just because, especially as a Deathwing, the amount of damage the Punk will be able to deal to you is pretty substantial. I think that the idea is they want to burst before they get burst this time around. And those quick mid lane fights where they don't start with a pickoff is definitely not the opportunity for them. And that's point 1. And point number 2, at least in my opinion. I mean, Varian's not that good until level 4. This tank isn't really a tank until that taunt ability does come out. It's super weak at this stage of the game, but Zednem just going to be trying to get a little bit of the value with the Lion's Maw, I believe it's called. Just trying to scout them out in the bush. But now the mid lane is already shoved in. And Magnitude Aftershock, they could even try to push in the lane a little bit. Punk going to be doing just that. Has a lot of range, is able to do it from safety. And without the taunt, there's not too much they need to be worried about. The only thing they need to be worried about is the Chastise coming through. And they're on to Zedem. Has a protection. Face melt not going to be able to land as Amy. Also going to be able to safely back away. Now all 5 members are here for Magnitude Aftershock. But it's just going to be to shove the wave in. Now, 9 gems have already been turned in, actually, from the side of Magnitude Aftershock. I did notice when that happened, but still going to be a pretty big move for them as Amy and B-Man get started on this Bruiser camp. Amy just kind of autoing on whoever they can. And eventually they should be able to finish it off. They have the extra heals coming in. And that will be the first camp going down this game in favor of Magnitude Aftershock. Now, in the bot lane, there's going to be a little bit of trading. I mean, Captain Roberts with a Drain Hope should have infinite life in this lane. I don't think Aluminum Brie should be able to shove away Captain Roberts at any point in this game, so long as Drain Hope is available. There's going to be a little bit of a trade. Even going to be able to take down one of those little armor tiers. The Bruiser camp is pushing, but level 4 is there for Zednem. Looking towards B-Man, but not going to continue on with the play. Plantfax is going to jump onto B-Man. Has the vault to get out, but now Dicello is the one that's taking most of the brunt, but will not get finished off. Concussion Mine is going to push Punk off to the side, but Punk dealing so much damage to Plantfax. Actually getting them quite low. But now the Chastise, once again, just pushing them out a little bit. And with this Bruiser Camp, they're able to finish off not the entire wall, obviously, but they're still able to take down a good chunk of it. And with the Arcane Orb and the Magic Missiles, one more hit, we'll be able to finish off through the backline. But now Zednam gonna get pushed backwards. Wraithling will use the face melt just a little early, not able to knock Zednam further back. And there's so much poke onto this wall. Most of it's already gone. Just that one cannon tower is staying at that top side, as both sides almost have enough gems for turn. But now they have the taunt onto Wraithling and had the Lurking Arm, but Leap of Faith. Once again, that's why the Anduin is so powerful into this combo. Able to pull everyone away from all the abilities that are already on the way to that taunted target. Now Wraithling looking forward, got to jump on a Planvex, and the burst damage coming through. It's immediately going to get traded back, and Zednam actually going to be able to pick up the gems for both these teams. So in terms of gems, that actually is a benefit for Bunker Funtime. So a slight win in that trade. There's now Alamini Bree looking over on that bot side with Captain Roberts, as now both teams have enough for turn, and Zednam going to be able to get all 18 in. And that's going to be a pretty big move for them. As now 46 have been turned in. Captain Roberts, Amy, and B-Man all turn in on the bot side. And now they just need Punk. If they're able to get Punk into a position to get those gems, and they will have the Web Weaver spawning. Alamini Bree has 21, trying to get those in as well. And now with the Drain Hope, they should be able to force Alamini Bree away, but Zednam wants to try and prevent Punk, but won't be able to in time. And now they have the Chastise, they have the Face Melt, but with the Lurking Arm, it will prevent Wraithling from actually using that Face Melt for that extra distance. But that's still going to be the Web Weaver spawning. Now the Bruiser Camp has already been taken by Bunker Funtime. They were able to get that before the Web Weavers have spawned, so that will definitely help their defense, at least in the mid lane. But what will be a little bit more concerning is this bot lane and this top lane. Alamini Bree will have the Molten Flame, but that won't be able to clear them out all in one go, as Wraithling is on the backside, able to get the Power Slide. Dicello could be in a bad spot, starting to get pretty low, but so is Wraithling, and Wraithling's actually the first one to go down. So that will be a kill going over to Bunker Funtime, as they are going to be able to defend against this just a little bit better. Now the mid lane wall is already finished off. Amy could look for the play, but not going to. The trap will land, but it's just going to be behind enemy lines. Not going to be able to follow up on it. But the mid lane Web Weaver will go down. Not going to deal too much more damage over to this mid lane. But this top lane Web Weaver, that's where the real damage happened. This was a perfectly healthy wall. And then what happened next? The Web Weaver came in, able to take down the entire wall, and a little decent poke onto the forts as well. Now Alamini Bree, again with the Molten Flame, able to just clear out the bot lane pretty quickly, and really good pickoff right now. They were able to take down Raven X off camera as usual. T-Tours in chat. But that's going to be the 1-for-0. They're going to be able to try and pressure a little bit more, and they were able to take down at least a couple gems off of Bunker Funtime. Now the vast majority is still going to be on Zednam and onto Alamini Bree. So it's not going to be able to give them anything new, but it will slow them down just that little bit more. As Alamini Bree once again just trading with Captain Roberts. The Drain Hope dealing so much damage. Zednam and Planfax looking for the play. Wraithling is here as well, but so is Amy. They could look for the backline. They're on to Zednam. They have the taunt. They have the Lurking Arm as well, but Zednam is just slowly getting poked down. Now they have the stun coming through. I always forget what that thing's called. The Earth Shatter coming in. But that's just going to end the play there. Now level 10 is up for Bunker Funtime. Magnitude Aftershock should be soon to follow. And there they go. They get their level 10s as well. Amy going to be working on clearing away the top side, but they're still going to need quite a few more gems on the side of Magnitude Aftershock before they're ready for the turn-in. So they need to control this mid lane as long as possible, as Wraithling is going to go in. They have the Mosh Pit as well, but the protection and the Riptire lands onto 3 members, and Wraithling is pretty low. Same with Amy. Containment is not going to land. So that will actually be a 1 fight for Bunker Funtime, because they're going to be able to take control of this top side, and they will be able to turn in their Web Weavers. But now they have the Entomb. Raven X getting hit by this integration, and Alamini Bree will go down just after turning in, and Raven X is going to be low, but with the concussion mine, able to jump away. Now they're looking towards Zednam. Zednam starting to get low. Drain Hope slowing them down, and with the last little auto coming out from Captain Roberts, it will be a 2-for-0 in favor of Magnitude Aftershock this time around, as another disintegration rate is going to come out of Punk just to poke a little bit onto the backline. Now it's the same situation that Bunker Funtime was in when they were defending. They were able to get 2 kills, so because of that, they can kind of focus more on just clearing out these web weavers and not having to deal with that extra push coming out of Bunker Funtime. Gosh, I might go to build a little bit of space, but once again, that's not bad for Magnitude Aftershock. They will lose a little bit of this top lane wall. And I say a little bit, they're actually losing a pretty solid chunk of it. Won't be able to finish off the final cannon tower, but that's the last little bit remaining. Now the bot wave's already clear, mid lane's already clear, but Molten Flame is going to be coming out of Alumini Bree. They will be able to push in a little bit with their team, but now both teams are 5 strong. They have the light bomb. It will land on his head. And Captain Roberts trying to get the entomb, not able to land on too many members. But now it's going to be Plantfax getting slowed down. Wraithling looking for the aggressive play, not going to be able to find it. They have the Chastise as the Cataclysm going down over by Alumini Bree. And the team fight will be over. But again, it's kind of the same thing. Amy and Wraithling going to be able to get turn in. And now the Web Weavers are going to be going back the other way. And this is just the exact same repeat of the play that they got earlier. Now Punk going to get taunted, but this time Wraithling is there to protect. Zednam gonna get slow disintegration rate over on the backline as well. And not enough burst damage to take down Punk. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit further behind. And with that teleport, just provides so much extra distance. Now the taunt will still land, but whether or not anyone else can follow the play is the question. But now Amy is getting jumped on, is taunted. Will get slowed. Plantfax not able to land that extra hungering arrow. I think that they'd still be able to back away, but Alumini Bree now in the middle of everyone, but is super tanky, is able to just walk it out as the Dragon Containment Disc, though, will land. And now they can start setting up a play, but they do have the Lurking Arm. And that Lurking Arm with the Molten Flame will be able to provide enough space. Now Amy, it does get forced in, and Wraithing in a bad spot as well because of the traps. Will be forced to jump away. But with the leap of faith coming out of B-Man, once again, they'll be fine. But during all this, mid lane fort gone, bot lane fort gone, top lane fort will be gone very shortly. And Magnitude Aftershock, again, they're playing slow, they're playing methodical, but they're getting these leads, they're getting these fights in their advantage. Now the boss is going to be available. They are pinging onto it because all 5 members of Bunker Funtime have been showing on this bot lane, fighting off the Web Weavers. Now, they do have enough for turn-in on Bunker Funtime. They do not have enough for turn-in for Magnitude Aftershock. So this could be an opportunity for Bunker Funtime to take that, to get the Web Weaver spawned in. It'll help push against the boss, and it'll give them push in the other lanes as well. But they want to contest onto this. Both sides have level 13. Chastise will buy a little bit of time for Zednam, and it looks like they are backing off this play. But they still have the light bomb. Wraithling gonna be able to land it onto 2 with the power slide. Plantfax going to get burst down. Cataclysm is trying to split up the fight in 2. Dicello will be next to follow, but will get healed just in time. But that's still an HP advantage for Magnitude Aftershock. Bunker Funtime in a bad spot, and they have the mosh pit on 3 members. Amy jumping in will chain them back. Raven X will go down. Zednam is alive and actually able to get the taunt onto Punk, and Punk will go down because of it. So at the very least, able to trade it back. It's going to be 3 for 1. But Magnitude Aftershock are looking really good right now. They're playing extremely well. They're winning these team fights, and they're baiting these fights as well. Captain Roberts going to be able to turn in 30. And if the entire team does turn in, they will have the next set of Web Weavers coming in, and that looks to be the plan. As B-Man and Wraithling will turn in their final gems as well. Captain Roberts unfortunately not able to start the siege camp in time. But it's still going to be the push. They still have all of their members up. But they will be on an even talent here. So Bunker Funtime, they could try to contest this a bit more. They could try to fight a bit more. And they have been given the time to fix their lanes at least a little bit before the push really comes through. But it is a bit of a snowbally map. So being able to take control of this area right now really gives a lot of value to Magnitude Aftershock. They're going to be able to have those further and further in spawns from the Web Weavers. And right now we can even see the results of that. This Web Weaver basically spawned on this wall, and because of that, the wall's already gone by the time Bunker Funtime can start contesting onto it. Or at the very least, one of the cannon towers is. And with this extra spell, should be able to clear away a good chunk of the rest of it. So this mid lane wall will go down. Level 16 talent lead is there now for Magnitude Aftershock. Now this mid lane Web Weaver will go down in the trap. Perfectly timed. Really unfortunate for Amy. Not going to be able to land it onto the backline. No light bomb combo coming in today, but Alumini Bree stuck in the entomb. And Captain Roberts actually absolutely chunking Alumini Bree. Now top lane wall did go down as well. but the play isn't over. Magnitude Aftershock, they still want to play towards the mid lane. We'll be able to get a little bit more poke damage onto this keep. A little, about 2/5 of the HP is going to be gone. So they're in a pretty good spot. And now it looks like they want to contest onto this bruiser camp. Or are they just waiting for the fight? Alamini Bree is going to get jumped upon a little bit. But with the armors losing so much health from the Drain Hope. I'm sorry, but Captain Roberts is dealing so much damage to Alamini Bree. And is able to heal throughout all of them. But now they have the taunt. They have the unstoppable containment disc. Will land on to Zednam. Molten Flame not going to be able to deal any further damage. As Zednam is going to be split up into the fight, but they will be able to take down the Bruiser camp. And now the fight is brewing. Captain Roberts is starting to get pretty low. Amy jumping away, but they just don't have any follow-up for it. So they're not going to be able to get a kill, but at least they have been able to save their Bruiser camp. And the other opportunity they have is they do have enough gems for turn-in. And they know that they just push back all of Magnitude Aftershock to the bot side. If they're able to get to the point quickly enough, they could try and get their gems and could try to get their web weavers. They already have a push brewing in the mid lane, but now Wraithling looking to play aggressively, able to get the stun onto Dichel. That's the first target you want. And now Zednam gonna follow as PlanFax caught in the containment disc as well. Should be able to take them down. They have the extra silence, they have the damage, and it's a 3-0 for Magnitude Aftershock. Now they don't have a wave, but when there's only 2 members left on Bunker Funtime, they can just let Wraithling stand there, tank up the fort, or tank the keep, I should say, and they will get that mid lane keep in their hands. Magnitude Aftershock growing their lead, and they're not done with just the mid lane keep. They're now playing towards the spot side. Molten Flame is used to try and help zone away, but the Entomb just slightly out of range. Alamini Bree was behind it, and will burn down Wraithling at least a decent chunk. Earth Shatter as well, not going to be coming out quite yet, but that will be the bot lane keep also following. And Magnitude Aftershock just winning team fight after team fight and just getting so much value from these structures. Now they will back away for a little while. Their power play is done. They don't have turn-in for a decent little bit, and neither does Bunker Funtime though. But the top lane boss is available, and if Bunker Funtime want to do a Hail Mary play, this could be a good opportunity for them. They are pinging towards the boss. They're on it already. Now, do they want to start it, or do they just want to bait it? Alamini Bree is just going to be pushing out the lane, and it looks like they want to try fighting this. Punk trying to throw damage over the wall. Could scout it out a little bit. They have the Earth Shatter, but who are they going to go on to? It looks like it's going to be Wraithling. They have nothing. Unfortunately, they're not able to land the taunt in time. But now Light Bomb is there for Captain Roberts, but with the fear will be forced back. So unfortunately, no pick off there for Bunker Funtime. And once again, they're playing patiently. They knew that they just didn't. They needed to not lose a team fight here. Giving up the boss would be better. And now that they've burned down all the cooldowns from Bunker Funtime, they can play aggressively. They have the Lurking Arm. Punk actually in a pretty bad spot, but will jump back. And Amy jumps in. Will get taunted. Will trade for the Deathwing, but it is a 1-for-1. Zednam could start looking to play aggressively, but the side of Magnitude Aftershock, they know they have the waves shoved in. They know that the siege camp and the cannons are already pushing in, so they have to come back on the side of Bunker Funtime. They have to clean this up. And during all that, with this level 20 especially, Magnitude Aftershock, they can start on the boss, and that's the final keep that's remaining. So if they just push in with it, they can have every single structure off the map except for the core. And depending on how they do in this push, they could even look to go for the core as well. Now, will be 4v4 to start. They don't have enough gems for full turn-in. But they're going to try and let the boss push in just a little bit slower, use a little bit of the abilities on the minions so they can get their 5 members. Because right now, Bunker Funtime will have their 5 members here first. Molten Flame going to be really good to burn down this boss. Captain Roberts actually goes down to about half HP from the Molten Flame. Banner of Command is going to get thrown down as well. Earth Shatter not going to land onto anyone. Entomb almost catches PlanFax, but they were able to vault away in time for it. Now the boss will finish off this final keep, but won't be able to push in for the core. Now level 20 advantage is still there for Magnitude Aftershock, so if they want to play aggressive, this would be a good timer. And it looks like right now what they want to do with this aggression is take this Bruiser camp and shove in with it. Zednam is looking for the play, though. Is going to be difficult without that level 20, though. Lurking Arm just going to buy a little bit of space. Same with the Hungering Arrows. Amy looking for the aggressive play, but they have the taunt. Leap of Faith is going to come through, so Amy will not be able to hook anyone else back, but Alumini Bree in a bad spot, and the Cataclysm not going to come out fast enough. That's going to be a kill going over towards Punk. And now it's 4v5, level 20 advantage. Containment is going to go wide. But Amy could look to hook someone else back. It's going to be Zednem. And now the Riptire will buy a little bit of space. Lands onto 3. And now Captain Roberts is in a bad spot. Will be able to land the Light Bomb for the Sun Wraithling with the Mosh Pit on the backlane. Will get immediately interrupted though, as Raven X will get pulled back once again. And Raven X surviving at 200 HP. And they're slowly defending. Amy starting at pretty low, but they just can't finish anyone off. The damage is coming through from the minions. They're still able to get the poke over the walls. 50% left on the core. The cannons are still doing their work. 47, 44. Can they end the game here? Can Bunker Funtime defend? Wraithling just trying to buy space. Zedem gets pushed back, and that should be it. One last hit, and Magnitude Aftershock will dominate Bunker Funtime. And two unbelievably clean games in a row. Magnitude Aftershock definitely not looking like they were in the bottom of the standings for this series. They performed incredibly well. They played their strategy perfectly, and they never overextended. They knew exactly how to get their lead and hold on to it. Now, that being said, let me try and get an interview with one of them. Hopefully, we can get one of them in soon. So please give me one moment. All right. Hopefully someone will join. I'm just pinging them, letting them know if they want to come by. It is available. I mean, usually people do join, so. Hello, hello?
Hello.
Well,
Como estas?
Oh, good? I forgot how to say good in Spanish. But yeah, I am joined here by Punk, who did pilot the lead, making that game number 2 for Magnitude Aftershock. And first of all, congratulations on your domination of Bunker Funtime.
Thanks. It was a fun series, fun set. Bunker Funtime puts on a good show.
Yeah, they always do. And I gotta say, from the point of view, from the outside looking in, just in terms of stats going into this series, Bunker Funtime was definitely kind of favored to win. They were pretty high up in the standings. Because we're pretty down below, but that was a very dominating victory. It seems like it was fully under control. Do you think this was just a one-off, or do you think your team's finally kind of gotten over that hump and can start really winning games in the latter half of the season?
We've been sandbagging all season. We're ready to fight now.
I mean, it's definitely coming through right now. And especially, I think the cleanliness of your gameplay, that's really what won you this series. You knew when to push forward, when to back off. Now, is this something you explicitly practiced, or is this something that just kind of came with time as you got more comfortable playing with each other?
Oh, come with time. We've played together for many years, and recently we've been working on positioning and like strengthen team fights, and also when to just abandon a team fight and push a keep instead. You know what I mean? It's worked out pretty well. For this series specifically, like we tried to stay very aggressive and just bully rotations, and it worked out very well. Like our primary goal every single game now is to just 10 first. We didn't get 10 first in game 2, but it didn't really matter too much. It seems like we missed 10 because we were pushing forts instead of soaking, which in the end it worked out.
Yeah, and especially on Tomb of the Spider Queen, getting those early forts really gives you so much pressure. So
the passive XP is oppressive.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what do you think there's any specific thing that really let you kind of get over that hump?
In the season or in the series?
In the season, because I mean, in this series, you looked clean from start to finish, so not too much to say there.
Actually, last week we just had a a little team chat to see what was going on, and we just boiled it down to three key things that I don't know. It's funny because it seems basic, but as a team, like once we put it in play, it was killer. It was first to 10, don't die before objective, and I forget the other one, but it's something similar, just like that. Just really easy gameplay things to think of. And it's made a huge difference. Just makes team chatter clear. Because we like to goof and stuff before games and even during game a little bit, but our chat is really clear. Every comp, even though like we don't run like fancy combos or everything, we call out targets and focus targets, and it works really good.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the basics is all you really need to really kind of start dominating in these games. And now we are already in the second half of the season. I believe this was week 7. But how are you feeling in terms of your chances of being in playoffs and performing well at them?
Oh, we got it. I don't have any idea where we are in place, but I think we'll do well for the rest of the season. So, as far as like our performance tonight, I'm happy with where we are. If we make it to playoffs, great. If we don't make it, great. I think we're doing okay. All
right, that's a great way to look at it. Then I have 2 other questions then. First question. The series before yours was also from the Magnitude organization, and they got their domination, and they said, you know what, the only thing we want is for Magnitude Aftershock to also get a domination, and you were able to bring that in. Is there anything you'd like to say back to MDC?
We did it.
All right, and then my usual final question. Is there anything you'd like to say to our fans? Any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Shout out to all Magnitude players and the Magnitude team that supports each other. I think we've got a good group rolling. We're fun and supportive, and we teach each other, and it's been great.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to this interview, and congratulations again on your 2-0.
Hey, thank you.
Good night.
Thanks for the cast.
All right, with that, we are done here for the night. It's getting pretty late, so I'm not going to raid out. Just going to close out the stream with a little bit of music. Thank you all for watching. I will be back live tomorrow. Let me see what my schedule is tomorrow. 5:45 Pacific and then 8 o'clock Pacific for a doubleheader with Division E and then Division D. So if you're interested in watching some more NGS action, be sure to tune in tomorrow. And then I am still casting for the rest of the week. Besides Friday, actually. Currently don't have a cast on Friday, so we'll see how that goes. But either way, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and have a good night.